Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to the channel. As you can see, I've got my Ferrari cuppa. Let's have a little slurp. Cheers. It's afternoon here in Wales, and I decided today to do a video on this car, which is the Porsche 997 911, and we're going to be talking about the bore score. Which I've noticed on YouTube, there's a lot of scaremongering going on about this, and a lot of talk about £10,000, £20,000 to rebuild the engine. Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute that bore score doesn't exist, doesn't happen, and I'm not saying it doesn't cost a lot of money to do either. I believe we can get it done a lot cheaper. Well, I'm going to talk about this on the basis that a friend of mine works in Porsche. He's a top mechanic, and me and him have had loads of conversations about these issues, especially the IMS bearing in the 996s. You'll find every car has its issues. I find this unacceptable, especially with Ferraris and Porsches, the build quality. We shouldn't be having these issues with the prices we're paying for these cars, but they exist nevertheless. Porsche should have recalled a lot of the cars back in, the same as Ferrari, and done it under warranty in the early days, but they never did. So the bore scoring issue. First of all, it's more prone to the 3.8 engine in the Carrera S's than it is in the 3.6 Gen 1s. That is simply because the liners in the cylinders are a lot thicker in the 3.6 than they are in the 3.8, and the 3.8 gets a lot hotter when the engine is run. So basically that is the reason for the 3.8 becoming more prone to bore score. Now, there are not thousands of reports of this, okay? The numbers are small. And in most cars, this car here, my car's got 90,000 miles on it. Any issues with bore score or any problems would have probably, I'm looking that way because a squirrel just ran across, would probably have showed up by now. That's not to say it won't show up. But the key here is starting these cars up. When you start them up, let them run for 15 to 20 seconds and then drive them. Keep the revs below 4,000 or 3,000 revs until the oil temperature and oil pressure has built up to 80 to 90%. That alone helps a lot with the bore score issues. Changing the oil annually with a good oil. I use Mobil 1 as recommended by Porsche. They were in these cars when they first came out. There are better oils now. I tend to stick to the same with the Ferrari. I use Shell Helix 540 for the Ferrari, and I use the Mobil 1. I'm not sure what the ratio is for that, but it's a low ratio oil for the 997. Change the oil every year regardless of whether you use the car or not, because oil breaks down, it gets an acidy substance in it, and that's not good. Don't go out starting your car every week thinking that running it in the garage is keeping everything lubricated. That really is not what you want to do. What I would advise you to do is, if you're going to do that, then do what I said earlier on. Start the car up, wait 15, 20 seconds, drive it up to temperature, then bring it back. If you're not going to use it during the winter months, you're going to put your car away, then get a C-Tech battery charger, which I've got here on the Ferrari. Keep the battery topped up and put the car away for the winter. Make sure your fuel tank is full up with fuel. The higher the fuel is in the tank, the less chance of condensation. And put a fuel additive in as well, and that will help during the winter months. It really is that simple. If you look after the car, I've had a bore score done on this car before I purchased it. I purchased it last September from a really good dealer, and I've had the Ferrari off him as well, and they put the camera down the cylinders and sent me the photographs, and all the bores look great, especially cylinder 6. I think it's cylinder 4 and cylinder 6 on these cars that you've got to watch out for. But I think the scaremongering is really over the top. I think people then, every time people buy a 997 now, it's, bore score, bore score, bore score. You know, it's like when they buy a Ferrari, it's the F1 gearbox, it's the F1 gearbox. Don't listen to a lot of the hype that is on various platforms, because I'm not saying these problems don't exist, they do, but I don't think they exist at the rate that we've been told they do. Providing you look after your car, providing you sort of And there she is there, just to give you a photograph. This car is absolutely in mint condition. It runs fine. Also check your oil as well. If you're using too much oil, then that could be the sign, the early start of bore score. They do use oil, and the digital oil reader isn't the best of things. I would much prefer the dipstick in cars. So don't worry if you start it up one day and it's full, and the next day you start it up and it's down a bar. It does happen on the 997s, on the digital things. It's very difficult to, you know, get it right. But as long as it's not dropping too much. If you're putting in 1 litre or 1 quart of oil every 6 months or something, and you're using the car regular, that's probably normal. If you're putting it in once a week, once every 2 weeks, then you've got a problem. And you'll know because there'll be smoke coming out the exhaust pipe. You'll know it's burning oil. That could be the start of bore score issues. Let's come to the cost of these things. Well, I've heard costs of 10,000, I've heard costs of 15,000, even up to 20,000. Parts alone are going to be around 3 to 4, depending on where you get them. And then you've got to go and get the job done. The engine's obviously got to come out. So yes, it is quite a job. I don't believe it's 10 to 15,000. A lot of profiteering going on at the moment. The fear put out there about bore score and IMS has been put out so much now that it scares everyone to death. Every car you have are going to have issue. If it's a Ferrari, I can reel off, and we'll do another video on this, on the Ferrari, the problems with the Ferraris, the design issues as well. But today we're talking about the 997. So basically, don't worry too much about it, and just keep an eye on things with the engine, as I said, with the oil, and drive it as it should be driven and start it as it should be driven. And I don't think you'll be seeing any problems with that at all. So if you like the video, please subscribe to the video. I'm trying to grow the channel. I've only been doing it a couple of days. Things are going really well. Over 300 views in less than 72 hours, which is pretty good. If you've got any criticism, that's fine. If you've got any advice, that's fine. Put it in the comments. I'll reply to everyone who sends me a message. And you know, let's work at this together, and I'll be doing all sorts of videos. I'm going to give you a sneak preview of what we're going to be doing on Saturday. So if you want to know, then subscribe. Just give you a preview of the front of the car. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, let's have a look if I can go down. I have done the condensers. Here is the condenser of the front of the Porsche. That has been replaced. I'll show you the state of the other condensers on Saturday, and I'll show you exactly what I did with these condensers here and how I've replaced them and stuff like that. So that video is coming Saturday. In the meantime, thanks for all your support. You've been very generous. I started this channel on a whim. I've been meaning to do it for years. I didn't think I'd go anywhere. I didn't think people would be interested, but people are very kind. People are very generous. Liking and subscribing. If you want to know what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing jobs in the winter on the 997. For instance, I'm going to be doing the calipers in yellow, red or black, I'm not sure yet. Maybe you can help me with that. And I'm going to be doing the brake discs, the brake pads, and I'm also going to be doing the rear exhaust boxes. So that's coming up as well. Let's have another slurp of my coffee. That's better. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing lots of jobs. I'm not a mechanic qualified, but I've done a heck of a lot on cars over the years. I've owned probably in my life about 150 new cars and about 50 second-hand cars since I was 17. And I've had every car you can think of, from Fords, RS Turbos, Cosworths, Capris, Lotus, Ferrari, Porsche. I've had several Porsches, and I've done a lot of work on these cars over the last 30 years. I've also got friends in McLaren as well, engineers that help me with software issues. So yeah, I have got a lot of knowledge, as I say, but I'm not a qualified mechanic. So there's lots I can do. There's lots. I know my limits. I know when I got to sort of, like for instance, you know, the F1 gearbox on a Ferrari. That's another video. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I hope you like the video. Hope this has helped you. Maybe it's giving you a little bit more relief on the bore score issues. These also have been known to suffer from IMS. It's not a bigger problem on the 997s as it's been on the 996. It's not been a big problem on there, to be honest with you. I think it's a lot of scaremongering. People, don't be afraid to go out and buy. These cars are awesome. They want to be driven hard. The key is start up 15-20 minutes, drive it out, keep the revs under 4,000, 3,000 revs, nice and easy until the oil temperature and the oil pressure builds up. Then give it a good hammering, clear out the cylinders, clear out the rings and all that with the fuel, and keep the bores clean. Keep it oiled. Doesn't cost a lot. You're talking 150 quid. I'm not sure what that is in dollars, but 150 quid, 200 max to oil change it. Oil change on these is easy. I can do an oil change on the 997 in less than 20 minutes. It's literally the bolt and the sump plug and the oil filters right next to the so they are very easy. Sometimes they're in the engine bay. I think that's in the 3.8. I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you, YouTube. Have a great day wherever you're doing. Again, thanks for the support. If you like the channel, subscribe. Like. If you like what you see, subscribe. And you can check me out on the videos when I'm going to be starting work in the Welsh Supercar Garage in Wales, UK, in the next week or so. And you can follow the progress of these jobs. So have a great day, everyone. And I'll catch up with you soon. From Raymond, South Wales. Goodbye.